What's up, everybody? Just a word of advice. If you do not want your mentions, your quote retweets, your whatever on the internet, occupied by racists and Zionists and fascists, don't go viral. I'm serious. Do not go viral. I had a couple viral posts last week. One was literally Uh, it was a sort of a fake conversation. Do you condemn H word? Like, keep in mind that H could stand for anything: hot dogs, hamburgers, uh, hummus. It could be anything. But people took it as I intended for it to be took. And my response was, no, I do not. I hope they actually fucking win. And it if last I checked, it had about 5.1 million views, um, about 75,000 likes, and God knows how many retweets. But it was a very, very popular post on X, Twitter, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And people were very mad at me. I don't like people being very mad at me, but I'm black on the internet and I'm a communist. So three strikes right there. So people are gonna be mad at me. What's up, BRG? It's the guy who ate Whataburger and had to drive back standing up. Well, hopefully you learned your lesson from that. I ought to leave this pinned just so that your instance of stupidity can be preserved for the ages. But I'm not going to do that to you because I am a nice guy. But yeah, since I made that post, like, it's funny because, like, on one hand, I've got the liberal Zionists who apparently think that I could be arrested for things that I say on Twitter. Keep in mind that I've mentioned no terrorist organization. I've mentioned no illegal organization. I have mentioned nothing that could be construed as being in support of terrorism. But people, you have the liberal Zionists who are calling for me to be thrown into a dark hole somewhere because that's what liberals like to do. Fascists like to kill us. Liberals just like to incarcerate us. So, and on the other hand, you have literal fucking fascists who are calling me a monkey and an ape and all sorts of other mean names. But listen, I went to high school with white people, like rich white people, okay? I know how they act, I know how they think. Like, you all need to come up with better jokes, honestly. My Twitter has been public for almost a year now. Anyways, what's going on in Palestine right now? Israel is getting their asses kicked. I would show you all videos, but Twitch doesn't like gore, and neither does YouTube. But I really don't like having my videos taken down after all the work I put in on these things, so I am not going to show you all gory images. Just look for them on X. But yeah, Israel is getting their asses kicked because, as I mentioned in my video on Maoist military tactics and strategy and their applicability to the Palestine situation, like, what Israel has done is basically bomb Gaza into rubble and basically provided a tailor-made environment for urban guerrillas. And then they were stupid enough to send their tanks in without infantry. Okay, anybody that's played a real-time strategy, whatever type game, knows that you never, ever, ever send your tanks in without infantry because tanks have limited, limited visual range. So your infantry, um, is basically your eyes and ears. So they're just basically sending like tank columns in, and they're getting schlonged by the brave and noble resistance fighters, and they're trying to cover it up because, like, they learned from Vietnam. Part of what influenced the eventual U.S. withdrawal from Vietnam was the fact that people got tired of their kids and their brothers and their husbands and their boyfriends coming home in American flag clad pine boxes. So casualties are not good if you're an imperial power trying to suppress a colonized people. Off topic, but BRG, have you heard of the new group in the West Bank? Yes, I have. So peace. We keep hearing this word, peace, ceasefire, all of that. Like, keep in mind, like, I'm not a bloodthirsty man, okay? Peace is good, but You cannot make peace with an occupying power that literally wants to wipe your people off the face of the map. You cannot. Okay? You simply cannot. And there's a major like disconnect in discourse between white liberals, white social democrats, white democratic socialists, whatever the fuck you want to call them, and black people and Palestinian people and generally colonized people. Like my heart jumps whenever I hear about an IOF troop getting their just desserts. Okay, like in LA, a Zionist started shit with a pro-Palestine demonstrator. Like they were like dueling marches. The Zionists showed up to counter protest, and this asshole he got in somebody's face, and somehow he ended up on the ground, and he ended up dying. Um, and people are like, "Oh no, that's horrible." I'm like, "This is a fucking war. It's a fucking war." Like Cat Williams said, "You shouldn't have been talking shit. You shouldn't have been talking shit." Like white people are so insulated from the consequences of their behavior. It's sad. Like what the fuck did you expect is going to happen? In my city, St. Louis, yesterday, um, this idiotic, I guess it's like a news page, but these idiots, Visegrad 24, they were like, oh, physical attack on Jewish person. They literally brought an Israeli flag to a pro-Palestine march. Now, keep in mind, Israel is literally trying to wipe Gaza off the face of the map. Why the fuck would you bring an Israeli flag to a pro-Palestine demo if you do not want shit to happen to you? But I watched the video, and like nobody was getting their asses beat. Nothing happened. It was a bunch of Palestine solidarity activists and marchers that were stomping on the Israeli flag. Like that is their constitutionally protected right. Like the Israeli flag is not a holy symbol. It's a flag of a country that is currently doing very, very horrible things. So people are going to burn it. People are going to stamp on it. People are going to do all sorts of shit to it. That's what you get when you stand a horrible country that has no right to exist in the first place. So people are like, we oppose the war because it's a war. Like, no, there's just wars and there are unjust wars. Israel is waging an unjust war because it is not a war for liberation. It is a war to keep the Palestinian people down. It is a war that is destroying people's houses. Like 10,000 people have died since the 7th in Gaza. 10,000 people. That's a pretty fair-sized town. 10,000 people murdered by Israel. But we're supposed to act as if there's no both sides is here. Israel is the sole perpetrator of these war crimes. Israel is the sole reason that this war is raging right now. There is no both sides. Anything that the Palestinian resistance does is justified under the revolutionary theory of war. So, Malcolm tells us the necessity of declaring war on violent genocidal racists. Like, Malcolm taught me, okay? I didn't learn shit from Bernie Sanders or any of these other social democratic weirdos that people are constantly standing for and then getting mad at when they do what social democrats do. You cannot trust these people. You cannot put all of your faith in these people and then cry and sob when they turn against you. You cannot. So let's see what Malcolm has to say. Malcolm was my first revolutionary teacher. That's why I am like I am.
We're going to have to go to war against the racists in this country and make war against them ourselves in order to preserve our own peace and in order to preserve our own lives and our own property. And this is not advocating any kind of violence. This is being prepared to retaliate against those who are violent with us. And we think that this is...
Retaliate against those who are violent with you. A settler colonial occupation is inherently violent, okay? Inherently violent. Even if they're not bombing you every day, it's still inherently violent. They are living on your land. They are enslaving your people. They are shutting off your water, your electricity, your access to medical supplies. Gaza has been under blockade for 17 years. 17 years. And now Israel is trying to bomb it into oblivion. The Gazan people are the bravest people on the face of the earth right now. Seriously. Violence towards your oppressor is self-defense. Exactly. Like I said, anything that the oppressed person does is justified under the rules of people's war. That is what the Palestinian resistance is fighting right now, a people's war.
The only language that the Ku Klux Klan and the White Citizens Council and the George Lincoln Rockwells and these other racists and extremists understand.
And like, so people are constantly calling for a ceasefire. Like, what exactly do you hope to accomplish? Oh, we're going to phone bank. Okay, well, what the fuck does hanging out on the telephone and calling fascists in Congress achieve? Like, what exactly does hanging out on the phone achieve? I'm going to call fucking Roy Blunt, or I'm going to call fucking Josh Hawley and ask them for a ceasefire in Israel. Or I'm going to call Ann Wagner or any of these other fascist muppets in Congress and ask them to work for a ceasefire. Like, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. How about permanent ceasefire through liberation and the destruction of the entity that is oppressing you? Like, people don't think. People don't think. There is good activism that's taking place in the United States today. Like at Tacoma, Washington, they blocked the loading of a ship with military material and equipment for the Zionist entity, and they held it down out there. That's dope. You're getting the exact same McDonald's ad on Twitch every 5 to 10 minutes. Remember the boycott. Precisely.
It's not advocating violence. Our people there are already the victims of violence and have been the victims of brutal violence on the part of the Klan. We're advocating self-defense units and self-defense units alone.
Also, keep in mind that offense.
Man is being criminally treated.
Keep in mind that offense against a settler colonial fascist entity is self-defense.
That some criminal has the right to tell that man what can be devised to get us the things that are ours by right, then I'm for that kind of action no matter what the action is. I don't think when a man is being criminally treated that some criminal has the right to tell that man what tactics to use to get the criminal off his back.
Precisely. So, criminals in the United States, social democratic, liberal, Zionist criminals, are basically lawyering against the right of the Palestinian people to protect themselves and get their land back. I had some asshole even tell me that land back does not apply in the Palestinian situation. This was a liberal Zionist. This is also unfortunately, a comrade of mine in DSA, but DSA allows all sorts of people, even Zionists, apparently. Something that we need to work on. But, anyways.
When a criminal starts misusing me, I am going to use whatever necessary to get that criminal off my back.
So yeah, the Israeli criminals take Palestinians hostage. The Palestinians take Israelis hostage. Tit for tat, blow for blow. That's people's war.
And the injustice that has been inflicted upon Negroes in this country by Uncle Sam is criminal. Don't blame a cracker in Georgia for your injustices. The government is responsible for the injustices. The government can bring these injustices to halt.
Again, Malcolm was my first revolutionary teacher. Like, I didn't need Bernie to tell me shit. Also, y'all play too fucking much. I don't know who thought this was a fucking good idea or that it would be funny, but y'all play too fucking much. Don't do that. This is what Israel is apparently scared of. Like, this is what they're using to justify. I just saw a clip of a Palestinian child with his head split open and his brain matter missing. Oh, wow. Thank you for ruining my evening, Nate. You have a lovely tendency of doing that. But, like, this is the impact of one of the Qassam rockets that Hamas is firing. I don't know if it was a misfire or a done missile, but, like, usually they have a greater impact than this. But, like, this is this Zionist is saying, last night a Hamas rocket landed in the courtyard of a kindergarten in the city of Sderot. But since it's an Israeli kindergarten, it's not a war crime. Did I get that right? And I'm like, bruh, there are potholes on roads in poor areas of my city that look worse than this. Like, you get, bruh. This is Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture, talking about peace because that's what a lot of the liberal Zionists are talking about. We just want peace. We just want peace. We want to keep Israel, but we also want peace. Kwame Ture takes the task.
Well, there's a difference between peace and liberation, is there not? You can have injustice and have peace. Isn't that correct?
You can have peace and be enslaved.
Yes.
So peace isn't the answer.
No.
Liberation is the answer.
Yes, of course.
Okay, then that's what you should talk about, never peace. That's the white man's word, peace.
Never talk about peace as long as an unjust entity, as long as a fascist entity remains. Peace is impossible because the existence of Israel is an inherently violent thing. Precisely. See, black people, brown people, we get this instinctively, okay? It's Europeans that have to get this shit because they're insulated.
Liberation is our word.
But you will want peace in the end.
Yes, but you can't have peace until everybody is equal.
But you seem free at the moment.
I seem peaceful at the moment.
You seem free.
I seem peaceful. Am I free?
I think.
Yeah, there's an article actually talking about, I think it was in the Financial Times. I'm surprised they published it, talking about how the Palestinian resistance, I don't want to use the H word, but how these groups are basically more Viet Cong than the other group that rhymes with it shares the name with an Egyptian god. But yeah, like they're basically like the Viet Cong. This is Kwame Ture debating a Zionist. I love him so much. I love his aesthetic. In case you all didn't notice, I'm actually like trying to go for his aesthetic in some of my latest fits, but whatever. Oh, you're gonna play. You're gonna play. What do I think of advocating for prisoner of war status for all Palestinian prisoners? I mean, Israel is at war with the entire Palestinian people, so I think that makes perfect sense. If I recall correctly, it would also enable him to receive more oversight and international attention than if they were just treated as civilian prisoners. So yeah, I'm all for it. There's actually a similar, fuck this video. I don't know why YouTube does this, but whatever. There's a similar movement to. There was a similar movement in the 60s and 70s to get black people, all black people who are incarcerated, uh, political prisoner status because our oppression is political oppression and economic oppression. So, when a black woman is incarcerated for boosting a couple mink coats, like that's a political act, her incarceration, because the economic conditions in which she is forced to live. She lives in a cold water flat, with exorbitant rent, rats all over the place, roaches in the front room, rats in the back, um, and people who are unfortunately addicted to heroin nodding out in the alley. Like that is a political crime. I think Engels would call it social murder, social death.
As big and bad as the FBI is. I think as big as bad they are with all this thing, they would pick him up overnight. And Rap Brown, Fat who they know they couldn't pick up.
Mr. Carmichael. Now the debate wants to play. But yeah, I'm all for it because the conditions in which we live are politically imposed on us. So, all for it. Now you stopped. You interrupted me, then you stopped. Kwame, you're an asshole. Probably because I've got like 2 or 3 other YouTube videos already open. But yeah. So I'm supposed to be talking about the Hebrew Israelites anyways. We could talk about Kwame another time. As a matter of fact, I might do a stream just for him because his writing was so profound. Peace is the white man's word. Liberation is ours. Burn it into your brain. Get it tattooed on you. Like, if I got a tattoo, that would be my first tattoo. But I'm not a canvas. This is what I was talking about, the block the boat thing. So there's a boat full of shit for Zionists. Yeah, they're hilarious, but they're also quite dangerous, as we will find out soon. So, we delayed them for a full day and blocked the majority of the cargo. By halting port operations, we cost the capitalist class hundreds of millions in profits and showed the military-industrial complex that their power can and will be challenged, a lesson they won't soon forget. We were proud to fill the key logistical role of coordinating shuttles transporting at least 500 people to the action. We firmly believe that our movements must be intersectional to fight for housing, a livable future, labor, and to end war must stand together. However, our efforts over the last few days came at a cost. Tomorrow is election day, and we are in a pitched battle against the corporate landlords. Our efforts here took many of our strongest organizers away from our campaign at a critical moment. We humbly request help during our final get out the vote efforts tomorrow from 4 to 7 p.m. Volunteers can show up at 621 Tacoma Avenue, South Tacoma. Our campaign offices are out back and help with critical outreach to working class renters, donations to our campaign for Attendance Bill of Rights, which can be made at tacomaforall.org. Join our Veterans Day rally against the war and for Palestine, November 11th, 12 p.m. at Tollefson Plaza in Tacoma. And most importantly, continue the fight for a free Palestine. Thank you, Tacoma DSA. Well, that was nice. Good shit out of Tacoma. This happened in my city. Well, not my city, my metropolitan area. This was in St. Charles, which is roughly 25, 30 miles from where I live, from St. Louis City proper. But yeah, if you don't know what Boeing is, it's basically a major defense contractor. So you have people that came from all over the Midwest to block the entrance to bomb manufacturing plant 598 in St. Charles. So they deployed to halt the first 7 a.m. rush of workers. Here's a lot of workers just 10 minutes after blocking the first gate, tried to turn right into the factory, but were stopped from coming in to make bombs for the day. This Boeing factory manufactures small diameter bombs, SDBs, that Israel drops on Gaza. On October 10th, Boeing fast-tracked 1,000 of these bombs to support ongoing Israeli genocide. We blocked every damn entrance, and Boeing instructed workers to stay home and that no shipments could be made. So grateful for all the incredible people and groups who we got to work with to pull this off, including STL Palestine Solidarity Committee, We Are Dissenters, Boot Boeing, Resist STL, Friends from Kansas City, and our people from Chicago. From STL to Chi-Town, shut the war machine down. Very good action. It's also a counter-protester who is very deranged looking. These people always look like these are not very healthy people. So, what I wanted to talk about tonight. This was in Chicago last week. There was a fight between a Palestinian demonstration and a group of black Hebrew Israelites. And like people were asking, like people who are not in the black community, they're not aware of like our sects and our cults and all of our various groups, because we have a shitload of those. Because oppressed, depressed, and stressed people tend to proliferate weird-ass religious groups. So, let's see what goes on. Those are fireworks, not gunshots. So yeah, all these dudes over here, these hostile looking ass dudes, over there, those are the Hebrew Israelites. And people are asking, like, why would they attack the Palestinians? Why would they attack the Palestinian march? Why didn't they join the march? Well, for one, the Black Hebrew Israelites, regardless of their sect, they believe that that black people are the like literal Israelites from the Bible, and we can go more to that history later. But like, so they see the Palestinian people apparently as being devils that are encroaching on their land. Oh yeah, they also get extremely pissed at you if you identify them, or if you're black and you identify yourself as African, because they do not identify as African. They believe that the Africans sold us, the original Israelites, into slavery. So they're just throwing bottles and fireworks at each other. So with this Palestinian, this non-black group, have been justified in storming past that police barricade and beating the shit out of the black Hebrew Israelites? I'm going to say yes. Like, I'm generally not a fan of non-black on black violence, but in this case, that ass whooping would have been totally 100% justified. Like, these people are literally being bombed into oblivion, and you are so caught up in your stupid ass ideology, your stupid ass mysticism, your stupid ass whatever the fuck it is you believe, and you have no compassion. Like, you couldn't join the march, you didn't want to offer solidarity. All you thought was, one, your platform has been taken, and two, here come these devils. And you have no compassion. I know all of you watch the news, and you have no compassion, you have no solidarity, there's no empathetic bone in your body. So yeah, they would have been justified in taking those flags and beating the fuck out of you. I'm sorry. You should learn to not join cults. And they also harass black people. I don't know what the fuck is going on with YouTube tonight. Maybe if I close some of these things. Idiotic. But so SPLC, which is hit or miss, I find a much better reporters on white supremacist groups than I do about black groups, because they generally don't know what they're talking about. But where are the ones wearing tunics? There. Better yet, let's just move over to Chrome. If I can find the fucker. Anyways, so SPLC, like I said, is hit or miss. Um, but in this case, I really haven't seen anything that I would take objection with. objection to, rather. So the continued struggle of black indigenous people of color in America could find clear similarities in the narrative of Judaism, particularly the book of Exodus. Like they called Harriet Tubman Moses for a reason, because even though we were not allowed to read like all of the Bible, like we would literally get the shit beat out of us if we tried that. Some of us, like Nat Turner, who apparently had the Bible memorized, learned how to do it anyways. Oh, see, now it started right up. I hate Firefox. So this cult, this group, has, I guess you could say, like, a heritage. The identification of black people in the era of our enslavement with the Israelites, because we were enslaved and we sought the promised land. We sought our balm in Gilead. We sought an escape from the horrible conditions in which we were forced to live. So, we identified with the Israelites of the Bible, but afterwards, some people took it a bit too far. So these radical Hebrew Israelite groups are extremely anti-Semitic. They despise actual Jewish people. They appropriate biblical Jewish heritage to claim an exclusive identity as the true chosen people of God. That's another thing that's really big in black theology. Like, we see through our tribulation that we were chosen for something special, and we are going to have to go through a certain time period of fuckery and bullshit and oppression before we reach the promised land. And if we fuck up, then our arrival in the promised land is delayed. And they decry actual Jewish people as being imposters and thieves. These groups seek a defined form of dominance rather than equity by declaring superiority over all other nations. They probably think that they're liars too, because one, they're African, and two, they're Jews. Nate asked me about the Ethiopian Jews. They spread their beliefs through street preaching, often verbally harassing, provoking, and shaming any non-Israelite and those of their own community who don't follow their beliefs. This could be harmful to LGBTQ people of color within their communities, especially black, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender individuals. Radical Hebrew Israelites have a different aberrance of relationships between Israelites and Caucasian people as they relate to the devil. So if you've ever run into these people, and like, you'll notice that they really, really love harassing interracial couples because they think that you are wasting your blood. It's kind of like old school fascism, old school Nazism. Like, they hate people who are in interracial relationships. Why can't just mind their own fucking business is beyond me. But hold on, let me pull up some videos of these morons. Here we go. Chrome always works. Thank you for the advice. So this is one of the major groups, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. The Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. So it's generally just like, look, rants. Here's one. The real Jews are in the ghettos of America. Somebody asks a question. As a Chicano, I struggle with organizing with folks in my community who may hold bigoted views, usually homophobia, but are very class conscious. For example, there are a lot of labor marches for undocumented workers that I go to with my parents, where some of the leaders were Mexican Catholics that were very conservative. Is it wrong of me to try to work with class conscious people in my community despite failed efforts to make them more progressive on other issues? No, it's not wrong, because as we know, like, class is the reason for class influences and guides our thoughts and our behaviors and our actions. Like a lot of working class people are queer. A lot of working class people are trans. A lot of working class people, like working class people are not a monolith, socially or politically. Like you have working class people that vote for Trump. You have working class people that don't vote. You have working class people that are firm supporters of Joe Biden. So we can't see working class people as a monolith. And the working class is, especially in the Black and Latino community, is very religious. And depending on what denomination of church that they go to, you mentioned Catholicism. Like Catholicism, yeah, it's a very conservative tendency. Within the Black community, you've got the Kojic, AME, CME churches, and never mind the Baptists. Like these are extremely conservative denominations. So the thing is that while you're waging class struggle, you should never ever let them like get the notion that you are trying to brainwash them or convince them to believe something that's against the religious practice. But through the work, through the class struggle, they're going to come in contact with people who are queer, people who are trans, and they have to see these people as their fellow workers. And once they see people who they might not have run into in their average ordinary day-to-day life, once they actually see these people as human fucking beings and as fellow workers, like class unites. So, oh yeah, my nose is still fucking congested, but I'm alive, and I owe you all a video. I haven't been on for almost a week, so I owe you all this. Anyways, we build unity through struggle. That applies to the working class, that applies to the queer community, that applies across religions. So, back to this. That was your Ask BRG session. Was this video made in fucking 1987?
1212. This is not necessarily for publication. This one here is rated R. Restricted. The reason it's rated R because what we about to bring out is an offense to the entire world, but that's not new because to bring out the gospel and the truth about Christ is to offend the
cathedral of pimps, hoes, homos, and haters of Christ.
Entire world. The church system as we know it.
That sounds like a place I'd want to go. Well, they can keep the pimps out, but that sounds like my church.
Today is a farce and a lie. Islam as we know it today is a farce and a lie. These things have nothing to do with Christ, nothing to do with the King of the Jews, nothing to do with Israel, nothing to do with God, nothing to do with this.
So this is like a lot of political sects act like this. Like we are the only people who can educate you. These people are lying to you. These people are screwing you over. All these people want to do is take your money. And yeah, like prosperity gospel, there are major issues with that. But what these sects do is they take things that are objectively correct. Like, yeah, all prosperity gospel preachers are as a bunch of fucking con artists and grifters. And they take what's correct and they twist it until it's objectively incorrect. And you should join our incredibly incorrect cult.
Savior. The church is filled with a bunch of Sadducees and Pharisees, money-grubbing gangster thieves that need to be removed from their seat as Christ prescribed in the Bible. And that's why
so they seem to draw more from the Bible than they do actual Jewish religious texts. Like I wonder, like, have they ever read the Torah or the any of the important rabbis or anything like that? Well, of course they haven't, because they probably think that those people were fakes.
Important for us to know that these churches, all these churches, religions are teaching lies, man. The entire so-called Christian churches are teaching lies. Islam is a lie. All these religions are lies, and they stop us from knowing who we really are, and that stops us from following the Bible, man. The church is teaching us that our laws are done away with. They teaching us that the laws are done away with.
So I can see why this would attract like a black lumpen. Like the composition of most groups like this is lumpen, like people who just got out of prison, ex-dope dealers, thieves, people of that nature. Like everybody wants some game, especially among the lumpen. Everybody wants some game or some secret knowledge, and groups like this, they offer that. Like they offer some secret knowledge, even though it's not knowledge at all. It's cult brainwashing bullshit. But like everybody wants an answer to as to why their life is so fucking shitty. So the ISUPK will tell you because you are a member of a lost tribe of Israel and you were sold into slavery and everything you were taught is a fucking lie.
That's why all our women can go sit up in the church on Sunday, go on Monday, on Wednesday, different days, have Bible study, come out and be the biggest freaks they are, man. I believe in helping you, and listen, and I'm ready to die for it. I believe in you. I believe that you can be better. I believe that you should live. I believe you should not starve in the ghetto. I believe you should be on top. I believe in the wealth.
Preaching superiority. Like that's the best way to get like oppressed and marginalized people. Like the Klan literally did this to poor white people. Like just teach them that they're better than everybody else and they'll do whatever the fuck you want. So they're basically doing this in reverse with black people. Hey, you're the real Jews. Go take back your birthright. That's why they fought the Palestinian Solidarity March, because they thought that these people were imposters. Like we already saw what they think of Islam. They consider Islam a bunch of rock worshippers. So yeah, we are better than everybody else. Everybody else is a fraud. And we will go out and we're ready to put our bodies on the line for this shit. No, they have men capitalized. Like it's hyper masculine. The men, not the sissies, not the gays, not the punks, the men. So they're not Hebrew Israelites?
The Bible plainly says you're supposed to hate the white man. Why? Because the white man has done crimes against God's chosen people, man. The white man hated blacks and Hispanics and built the most powerful nation.
Oh, they've got a token Hispanic dude over here.
On the planet Earth. What shows you hate is what? That hate is right.
So they've got a list of all the tribes down here. The tribes of Israel. And they've got like a different non-white ethnicity that identifies with the tribe. So the Negroes, a.k.a. me, apparently I'm a member of the tribe of Judah. West Indians, who are literally the exact same people that just speak with British accents, are the tribe of Benjamin. Haitians are the tribe of Levi. Dominicans are the tribe of Simeon. Zebulun is Guatemala to Panama. Ephraim is Puerto Ricans. Manasseh is Cubans. The tribe of Gad is North American Indians. The tribe of Reuben is Seminole Indians. The tribe of Naphtali is Argentina to Chile. The tribe of Asher is Colombia to Paraguay. And the tribe of Issachar, they just threw Mexicans in as an afterthought. They've got this fucking water jug down here that people throw money in. I wonder if people just throw money at them just to get them to shut up.
There's a wrong hate and a right hate, black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian. We hate each other. That's the wrong hate. We hate the blacks. We hate the Hispanics. When the white man has the blacks and Hispanics in slavery, in hell. We have a common enemy, black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian. And the only thing that's going to bring us together, black man, Native Indian and Hispanics, is God's words. That's from the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, man. Under Commander Jody Honor, you're going to learn how to serve God and hate the white man. That's right. You're going to learn how to hate July 4th. July 4th ain't got nothing to do with black people. With his
So, yeah, this guy's a fucking... I mean, they're fucking entertaining to watch, but they're extremely dangerous. Because, like, as we saw, they're capable of violence. They're like, these people going to hit somebody upside the fucking head. Why? Because Commander, whatever the fuck his name is, told him to. So, while these people are funny as fuck to watch, you got to keep in mind that they'll fucking hurt you if you go up to this guy and start laughing at him, he'll knock the shit out of you. So back to this. Cannon and his guest Professor Griff, they did like a little podcast or something. Nick Cannon. They were theorizing about black people being the true Semitic people. Of course, this is a lie. Like, Semitic is not a race, it's a language category. Cannon, this is what they canceled Nick Cannon for. He claimed that they, meaning Jews, have taken our birthright. Neither Cannon nor Griff are known to be members of any radical Hebrew Israelite group, but this idea is at the core of radical Hebrew Israelites' beliefs. A shared view among the groups is that their claim is that Jews are actively working to steal the identity of the Hebrew Israelites by any means necessary. Like, you can't steal the identity of people who have never had that identity in the first place. But a lot of people actually believe this stuff. So Nick Cannon was one celebrity. You also had Kyrie Irving, who played for the Brooklyn Nets, and he shared a link to the anti-Semitic film Hebrews to Negroes with his 4.6 million followers on Twitter. So, again, like, there's quite a bit of pull for these types of ideas within the new African community, especially among the lower classes, among the working class and the lumpen proletariat. So just quotes that they've said. If you're a Christian, you are a plagiarist of the Hebrew culture. If you're a Muslim, you're a plagiarist of the Hebrew culture. If you're a so-called Jew, you're a straight thief of the Hebrew culture. So what the hell are you so proud about your religion? They're so proud because their religion has given them the ability to conquer and destroy the earth. This is Commanding General Yahana on The Grill, one of the shows of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, which he leads. Let's see what else. So, Brother John and his partner here, if they continue being homosexuals, aka effeminates, the Most High God is going to redact them. He's going to do the K word to them. We're not sugarcoating anything right now. I believe Black Lives Matter now, right? Because the devil's so tough up on this man. America Babylon the Great is so tough on this young man. He's delusional. He believes a lie. Because it was a beautiful question. Do you believe in Black Lives Matter? Yeah, I do. Well, it takes a man and a woman to create a black life, right? You don't believe in Black Lives Matter. So this was in Atlanta. He was harassing a young gay black man who was passing by. Then they also praised Mustache Man from Germany. So yeah. Radical Hebrew Israelites often refer to Jewish people as fake, using the name Amalek in reference to a biblical enemy of the Israelites. Sometimes they lump Jewish people in with Edomites, a term referring to another biblical nation that RHIs uses a derogatory term for white people. The label of Edomite comes with the claim that white people are the descendants of the biblical character Esau, who radical Hebrew Israelites have interpreted to be the devil. Many groups, such as the ISUPK, believe that the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. So, bears a lot of similarities to the Nation of Islam's theology. Members of these cults must have a black, Hispanic, which is weird because Hispanic could be of any race. So technically you could have a white dude who's hanging out with these people because his dad was white Cuban and spoke Spanish. So funny. Or a Native American father, and they lambast any Israelite for having relations with white people or non-Israelites, especially single mothers. They employ biblical literalism. These groups believe an Armageddon-level event will occur due to all the wickedness in Babylon. Rastafarians also call America Babylon. Well, they call the system in general Babylon. And they often claim this event is right around the corner. So you've got doomsday prophecy. There is a consensus that most Israelites must commit back to the covenant to uphold God's laws, and that this event will be the destruction of many, but will signal the salvation of this group. They think UFO sightings are signs of this event, and some even believe that they will be taken up in flying saucers. This is basically a ripoff of the Nation of Islam. Like, the Nation of Islam believes something called the Mother Wheel, which is like basically a giant UFO that just hangs out above Earth, and we never get to see it. These groups are verbally abrasive and express extremely hateful views. They are waiting for the turn of Yahwashi, their name for Jesus, to usher in a new era in which the Israelites will become the kings of the earth and will enslave white people in other nations, either to serve the Israelites or be punished in unimaginably horrific ways as retribution. They also have xenophobic tendencies towards Muslims or anyone of Middle Eastern appearance. In the past few years, they have taken to verbally harassing anyone appearing Asian, often using COVID as a reason, and demanding that members avoid patronage of any Asian establishments. So, yeah. Pretty nasty people all around. If you see them in public, avoid them. Why do they believe these things? They're basically just a warped version of the Nation of Islam. And, black people have a reason for identifying with the Israelites from the Bible, but that doesn't mean that we are the literal Israelites from the Bible. Okay? I'm not of the tribe of Judah. I am a black man of Yoruba and Akan and all sorts of other West African ancestry and a little smidge of European ancestry. I'm not a fucking Hebrew. That's silly. And it's taking other people's culture, it's taking other people's heritage and making a horrible, cheap, barbaric imitation of it. So yeah. Stay out of cults. If you're black, you should watch me. Don't watch these people.